Now to our very first story. All public institutions will from the end of March this year have to reduce the energy consumption rate by 40%. This follows an intervention as part of the Ghana Power Compact Program under the Millennium Development Authority (MIDA) to ensure efficient energy usage. A team of MIDA officials is on a working visit to Korle Bu Teaching Hospital, where the institution is expected to save 3.4 million cedis as energy costs through the installation of some energy-saving equipment, including bulbs, fans and fridges. There's more in this report.
The Millennium Development Authority (MIDA) has embarked on a race to retrofit intervention as part of the Ghana Power Compact program to promote energy efficiency in Ghana, especially in public institutions. The $3 million project will see about 5 public institutions fitted with energy-efficient electrical gadgets. One of the public institutions to benefit from such an intervention is the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital, where 3.4 million cedis is expected to be saved on a yearly basis. Richmond Owusu is the project manager for the energy efficiency and demand side management of the Energy Commission.
The idea of this project is to show that if we are more efficient, if we use more efficient equipment, if we behave in a more efficient manner, we'll be able to save electricity. Saving electricity in the long run, it's going to save money. So this project was set up, as she said, in these 6 institutions to prove that, yes, just even changing our appliances and then doing some behavioral change can save us so much money. So the idea was that all these 6 institutions concentrating on Korle Bu, because we are here, all these 4 blocks that she mentioned, what we are doing there is that we are changing all their air conditioning, we are changing all their fans, we are changing all the refrigeration systems there, and we are changing all the lighting to more efficient ones. We did what we call an investment grade energy audit to know how much they were consuming and then to be able to compare to what will be saved after the retrofitting, after these installations. And we have figures which prove that we are going to save them, I think, about 40% of what they are consuming now.
Project Manager for Energy Efficiency and Demand Side Management at the Millennium Development Authority, Dako, outlined the objective of the project, which also includes a national reduction in power consumption.
I wrote to a number of institutions based on, we solicited for data from ECG on high consuming institutions in Accra East and Accra West. So they gave us the list, and then we wrote to the high consuming institutions, about 20 of them. Only 6 responded. Korle Bu was one of them. 6, the other institutions, VUR, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, and then Adabraka Polyclinic and University of Ghana. So those were the ones that responded to our request for interest. So we went with those 6. So in Korle Bu here, we are tackling 4 buildings. We have the child health building, and then the medical block, and then the central lab, and then accidents and emergency, both the old and the new buildings. So that's what we are doing here.
In all, about 180 fans, 270 fridges and 720 air conditioners that have inverted energy-saving stars will be installed across these public institutions. Part of the MCC funds and the Compact program is being used to replace and retrofit high-energy appliances in 4 blocks at the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital and 5 other institutions. Okay, I'm done.
Moving to other stories now, some trade experts are making a strong case for ECOWAS to abolish plans to issue a single currency, the ECO. The economic grouping last year proposed January 2020 to gradually roll out the common currency. However, 10 days into the new year, some preconditions to aid the currency issue are yet to be established. But speaking on the business edition of PM Express, President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, Dr. Joseph Obing, says looking at the current challenges traders face with currency transactions, the ECO must be introduced. this year as planned.
There are enormous benefits to be achieved in this. I've enumerated some of them, and so there's no doubt about that. But if it should be done, it should be done well. Sacrifices are not sustainable. How long can a country sacrifice for others? We sign treaties, protocols, and we do some of these.
But Germany has done that for the euro. The economic, I mean, some would say that Germany is the backbone of the European Union.
Yeah, if we have countries, but we haven't heard Germany bullying its neighbors, but we have antecedents of bullying this thing from other countries. And so it's due to what the country itself is prepared to do. If Germany has been able to do it, doesn't mean that other countries can also sacrifice. Looking at where we are coming from, the challenges that we have as developing country, no other country can toy its economy with any sacrifice for other countries. And we should, to tell the truth, if we have to do, all countries should come on board on equal footing. That's the only way.
But you don't expect Nigeria, that commands about 70% of the total size of that region, to be rubbing shoulders with Benin.
No, but Benin, whatever its economy is, should be able to meet this convergence. It's not the same as Nigeria.
On the same program, finance lecturer Dr. Lord Mensah argued Nigeria may have to take a lead to support the ECO with its foreign reserves.
Are we realizing that in this country? We're not. So what I would say is that once they are going to meet, I made it clear in my earlier submission that they should think about other countries sacrificing, because we cannot all converge at one point, or we cannot all converge to those criteria that they are looking for us to enjoy the ECO. So countries need to sacrifice clearly for others to benefit, because that is what happened in the Eurozone. Within the Eurozone, Germany had to sacrifice a lot, for other countries. Because of the time they were going into the Euro, Italy was nothing to write about. Greece was nothing to write about. But in the end, they came together. And now the economic benefit is enormous, to the extent that even UK going out as a result of Brexit is thinking otherwise. How the impact will be, even though they were not completely part of the Eurozone and they were not enjoying the ECO, they were still enjoying some economic spillovers as a result of the Eurozone. Because once you get into that environment, transactions, free movement, everything that you do becomes so simple and easy because currencies are the same. So for me, I think if they are going to meet, my advice would be that they should think about sacrificing and forget about that convergent criteria. Once we come close, various countries come close to one or two of those criteria, we should converge. I think we're going to dictate a lot to the world, and in the end, we're going to have very good bargaining power.
Away from the issues of the ECO implementation now, many unemployed youth in the country are expected to be engaged in the growing local government industry. For instance, about 1,500 people are targeted for employment by local government maker UniJ Company at this new factory established in Kumasi and the government's industrialization drive. Chief Executive Janet Abobigu says she will also launch the Amelubabuba Back to Basic School project to encourage the spirit of entrepreneurship among children at an early age. Prince Appiah has more in this report.
Established 35 years on a veranda by a head porter, UniJ Company Limited is one of the fastest growing clothing business in Ghana. It supplies uniforms to many public and private senior high schools in the country. Chief Executive Janet Abobigu says government nationalization project will enable the business expand and employ more young people into the garment industry.
2019 it's not bad because the electricity fluctuation was not there. So that one, the production was moving. But 2019, because of the banking crisis, most of our customers, some of them lose money from those banks. But unfortunately, we bank in Prudential Bank, and then I think Fidelity also. So the banking crisis for the company, we did not have any effect. 2020, we hope to see expansion that can employ many people. In 2022, we want to launch Back to Your Basic School. We will launch it, collaborate with Ministry of Education, because they are those that we are doing for. So we will collaborate with them and we will have a date.
The company employs many head porters, popularly known as kayayis. It will therefore soon launch the Back to Your Basic School project to encourage the less privileged on their career choices, especially in the basic schools.
Go back to your basic school that nurtured you. Everybody entered a basic school or a day nursery before reaching to where he or she is. In fact, some of the people have enjoyed the school much that they attend basic school, from there to secondary school, from secondary school to university. They have to go back to the basic schools. We have to help them so that the children will enjoy the school, and then tomorrow they will also become somebody someday. So I'm urging everybody, and I'm pleading to everybody to go back to the basic school. Those who have attained higher in life should go back to their basic school.
Janet Tabobigo believes this will instill the spirit of patriotism and entrepreneurship among the school children. Prince Apia.
Now, developing good customer relations is key in driving businesses, particularly in the tourism and hospitality industries. In this regard, the Hotel Catering and Tourism Training Institution, HOTCAT, says it is working on training commercial drivers, including taxi hailing service companies, to improve their customer service. Karen Dodo has more in this report.
Following the Year of Return campaign, which saw close to 1 million tourists visit the country, government has decided to move the campaign beyond the Year of Return to allow diasporans to invest more in the country. To make this possible, government has set a plan to boost tourism to attract more tourists. However, Director of the Hotel, Catering and Tourism Training Institute, HOTCAT, Petrina Itumante Parkins, says to make an impact on international visitors, the basics of tourism must be considered. These include training on customer relations.
We've even written proposals to Uber, Yango, and some of the road transport players to train their personnel, because we believe that when tourists are in Ghana, the drivers are the first people they meet at the airport. So when we train them in customer services, I think it will go a long way to encourage the visitors to come back and also sell us to other visitors.
HOTCAT, which was established in 1991, was the first government hospitality training school created to train professionals for the tourism industry. For Joy Business, Karen Dodu.
Now, traders who ply their trade in the central business district of Kumasi have been given 1 week to move out to the shops at the newly constructed Ketia Market or forfeit them. Commencement of work on the second phase of the project has delayed as traders remain reluctant to vacate the old market despite acquiring shops at the new facility. City authorities, however, say the latest ultimatum is the final bid to force the traders out.
In this tailoring shop, Kofi and his friends are some of the people who were moved to the Kejitia market late last year. After 2 weeks, they returned to the old market on grounds businesses were slow at the new location. They blame their colleagues who refused to join them at the new market for the development. The clients have refused to come there because some tailors are reluctant to join us, and we have little option. They should force all would-be occupiers to the market else businesses will be slow, and there aren't few joints. The eviction exercise, scheduled for Christmas, was postponed because of the festivities. Lack of space and delayed allocation documents are among the challenges traders cite for their reluctance to move. Authorities assure the traders all outstanding issues will be resolved to allow for smooth relocation. Emmanuel Danso is consultant to the Brazilian construction firm for the project, contractor.
And this time around, we decided to move to the ground to know what is actually happening so that we can deal with the situation. It's long overdue, and we believe we'll have to speed up. With the consent of the mayor and all the committee that are involved, we need to finish this process within this week. Government funding always attracts interest and other stuff. And we are ready. Contractor is ready to work as early as possible. Well, I've spoken to it's difficult for somebody who has lived in a place for about 50, 60 years to move within a week or two or other. But for us, we feel everybody is being satisfied. The place that they are going to work is a very conducive area, good atmosphere, good environment and this. But you can see the comfort zone always speaks for them. So the place is set for them to come in.
Now, many international investors will be in Ghana to explore business opportunities in the agri sector. This was disclosed at a media launch of the Agritech West Africa 2020 conference in Accra. Local stakeholders were asked to consider coming up with innovative policies to improve competitiveness of the sector. There's more in this report.
Over 40 investors across the world are expected in Ghana to explore opportunities in the agri sector. This was made known at the media launch of the Agritech West Africa 2020 conference in Accra, where stakeholders in Ghana's agri sector have been urged to introduce some innovative policies to stay competitive. Dominic Oduro-Enchu is president of the Ghana-India Trade Advisory Chamber.
We need to step up our game. I mean, for instance, we still use cutlass in weeding. Go to the farms. We have to be able to have a technology where something can replace something like even a cutlass. And we should also let the farmers see, benefits properly, not just, taking produce from them and we give them something little. Ghana needs to move from the states in the agri sector to a higher state. You talk about Kenya, you talk about Rwanda. Sometimes you have to move from your comfort zone. And as we say, a change is difficult, but it brings progress. So Ghana needs to step up its game. We believe that our targets will be met, and then our objective will also be realized. One, we need to be able to step up. Whatever we started today, we're going to keep it up till June, and then it's not just for this year. Next year, we have something else coming in.
Meanwhile, Director of Agritech West Africa, Thomas James, has called for some policy framework to facelift Ghana's mechanized farming practices.
What change or innovation that has to be brought in is that sourcing of agro-mechanization for agro-mechanization employment in the agriculture practices. For that, the government can definitely make some efforts like encouraging more of agro-mechanization at the farmer level, having a local government support atmosphere being arranged so that more of the farmers, whether it's subsistence farming or for the contract farming or plantation type farming, more of agro-mechanization and agrochemicals can be used at a sustainable level so that the agro production can be enhanced in a proper way, having with the momentum. In countries like India or Africa, in India and even in Europe and Americas, what the governments have experimented is giving subsidy directly to the farmers for their sourcing of machineries or agro requirements, etc. So that is something that you can have it here in Ghana also, and even they can source it directly from the producers of agri-technology, and then they can distribute it to the farmers.
Experts say rising food demand requires innovation in agricultural practice, hence the need to be innovative. Agriculture contributes 20% of Ghana's GDP. So far, Ghana has 5 agroeconomic regions allowing for dynamic agriculture. To this end, the Agritech Expo is connected and aim to establish partnership with business counterparts in Ghana and in neighboring countries.
And that's it for Business Live tonight. Many thanks for your attention. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. Have a good evening.